So what is going on, guys? Zenkai Gaming back again, and today we're going to be briefly talking about the new confirmed exclusivity between Xbox and Bethesda. So you guys know I'm Team PlayStation. You can tell by my videos, you know this. Ghost of Tsushima, Demon Souls, Neo Collection, right? You know, all of these only available on PlayStation. You know I'm Team PlayStation. Well, Neo is on PC, but Demon Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, all PlayStation exclusives as of right now. So you guys know what I'm playing, right? You know I have a PS5. You know I had a PS4, right? You know I've been playing on PlayStation. Let me just say that I think this news is very good for Xbox. I think this news is very, very good for Xbox, right? For a long time, the narrative over at Xbox, or not over at Xbox, the narrative about Xbox was no exclusives, right? That was the thing. That was the main thing that, you know, that was all the buzz about Xbox. All the Sony ponies, you know, all the Nintendo stands. Not really. It's really this whole console war thing is really between Xbox and PlayStation, and Nintendo is kind of just there. And people like people will talk shit about Nintendo, and people will stand the fuck out of Nintendo. But let's be real here: the console war, the the main console war is between Xbox and PlayStation. So I'm gonna keep it between Xbox and PlayStation for the most part, and I'm not gonna really mention Nintendo. So a lot of Sony ponies, you know, we're making fun of Xbox. Hey, where's your exclusives? Where's your exclusives at? You know, where's your games, right? Oh, Game Pass, but you guys don't have any games. Where is your new games, right? Because, you know, people were hyping, you know, the Xbox, or people with Xbox were hyping, you know, backwards compatibility, you know, Game Pass, blah, blah. We got so many games, but we're not playing them. That's what it is. Because, guys, I looked at the stats. I looked at the stats, too. Guys. You guys aren't even playing it, and I'm talking to Xbox right now, or let's just call them Xbox, just for the sake of the video. I know just because you have an Xbox doesn't make you an Xbox, and just because you have a PlayStation doesn't make you a Sony pony. But just for the sake of this video, let's refer to these people. Let's refer to Xbox users as Xbox and PlayStation users as Sony ponies, just for the sake of the video. So I know Xbox, man, we're hyping. Oh, we have so many games on Game Pass, but we looked at the stats. We saw the stats. You motherfuckers aren't even completing those games. You aren't even playing those games. You're opening them for 5 to 10 minutes to see how they run, to see how they play, to see how they look, and you never play it again. You look at the trophy percentages or the achievement percentages. You motherfuckers aren't playing these games. You aren't completing these games, right? So let me just say that now, right? Now, Sony ponies were making fun of Xbox, right? They were making fun of the Xbox platform because they had no, you know, front-running exclusives, right? Sure, Halo Infinite, right? But, you know, really, what else did they have, right? You can say Gears of War, but, you know, we don't really have any news of a new Gears of War for next gen, and definitely not coming out in 2021, right? At least that we know of right now. So, you know, that was the main thing. While PlayStation, you know, has Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls, the Neo Collection, though that's available on PC. You know, Spider-Man Miles Morales, the Pathless, you know, so many exclusives that are Deathloop coming out. Like there's Final Fantasy 7 Integrate that we just heard about, right? There's so many exclusives for PlayStation that were lined up, right? So that was the thing that Sony ponies were using, you know, as fuel, you know, as ammo against the Xbox community. Well, guess what, guys? Xbox has their exclusives now. They made this happen. Xbox made this happen. Now, like I said, this was I didn't say this before, but we all know this was a $7.5 billion acquisition, right? Like this was no, like, yeah, this was a very power move from Xbox, right? And it would have been kind of weird for them to not have some kind of exclusivity with all that money being spent. It just wouldn't make sense you know, essentially for Xbox to spend $7.5 billion and nothing changes, right? There's no, like, nothing happens. There's nothing different about what's happening, right? I mean, sure, you could say that, maybe this was just for, so Bethesda games could be available on Game Pass day one. But now, right? But it was $7.5 billion, right? That probably wouldn't have been enough to justify that spending. But now we know that these games or future Bethesda games are going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, right? Basically, platforms where Game Pass is available. So pretty much Xbox and PC as of right now, right? So now that we know that, right? Now Xbox has these exclusives, right? But before, Xbox were against exclusives. They said, now I know a lot, it's not all Xbox, right? Like there are some Xbox who love exclusives, but a lot of, the Xbox, and I'm gonna drop some names: Colt Eastwood, Kid Smooth, right? These these people throughout the community, these hard Xbox, right? We're against exclusives, against exclusivity. Oh, exclusives are bad for gaming. Exclusives ruin the gaming community. Why not make games available to everyone, right? This was the narrative, right? Because that's what Daddy Phil told them. That's what Daddy Phil was saying, right? We want our games to be available, right? That's why we have Game Pass, because we want players to be able to play our games, on different platforms, via cloud, blah 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 blah, whatever. We want, gamers to be able to play our games. So they were against exclusivity. Oh, but now Xbox has exclusives. Oh, now we love exclusives. Now we love exclusivity. Oh, exclusives are the best. Right? You see how these guys are flip-flopping? These guys are flip-flopping more than a fucking fish out of water. You understand? That's the Xbox flip-flop right there. Now that you guys have some shit, now you're talking shit and going back on what you were saying. Because, well, PlayStation had the exclusives. Well, now you guys have exclusives, so now exclusives are good, right? Okay. Now Sony ponies, right? Now, they were saying, oh, Xbox has no exclusives, right? You guys have no exclusives. Where's your games at? Well, now Xbox has exclusives. So now what are Sony ponies saying? Well, now Sony ponies are making fun of Xbox for saying, well, we don't like exclusives. Exclusivity ruins gaming, right? But I thought you guys didn't like exclusives, but I thought exclusivity ruined gaming, right? That's what they were saying, right? Or and I'm gonna drop some names: J-Dub, Predator Rock. Now he didn't make the poll. I believe J-Dub made the poll, but there was a poll saying, now that we know that these games are going to be exclusive, right? Are you more interested in buying a Series X? Do you not care about the deal? Are you still gonna be gaming on PlayStation 5? Blah 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 blah. It was like, you could tell like it was meant to throw shade, and it was definitely biased, right? The poll, because he took a screenshot of. I could go back on Twitter and look at it. But he took a screenshot. I'm gonna paraphrase here. He took a screenshot of like, I think it was maybe 100% of the votes were down for the last option, which was like, no, I don't care, or like Xbox still sucks or something like that. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it was making light of this acquisition, of this deal here, of this confirmed news, and I just want to call that out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call that out. Like I said, I'm not a Sony pony. I don't care. Like, you're not gonna catch me riding or dying for a platform. I'm a gamer. I'm gonna play video games. I'm gonna play games, right? The best games. I don't give a fuck what platform they're on. I'm a gamer, right? I'm not a PlayStation gamer. I'm not a Nintendo gamer. I'm not an Xbox gamer. I'm not a PC gamer. I am a gamer. I play the best games, no matter what fucking platform they're on. Okay. Now, I want to say that this is great for Xbox. Now Xbox has some exclusives, right? Now for me being that I saw no reason to buy an Xbox, like sure, Halo, Halo Infinite and the Halo Master Chief Collection. I definitely am interested in the Master Chief Collection. Because I haven't. Let me give you guys a brief history, okay, of what I've been of kind of how my gaming journey's been. Now, it's a very brief history. This isn't going to include like every little bit of every gaming device I've ever had, every console I've ever had. It's just we're talking about Xbox and PlayStation, right? So let's try to keep it there. So I started out with a PlayStation 1. This is me going from a child till now. I started with PlayStation 1, then on to PlayStation 2. Then after PlayStation 2, I had went to the Nintendo Wii, which is great. Nintendo Wii was a great console. Then after that, just because I don't say like a console is good doesn't mean anything. Like I know I said something about Nintendo Wii, but I didn't say anything about PS1 or PS2. We all know that PlayStation 2 is hands down the best console of all time. That's not close. It's really not a debate. Sure, everybody has their own opinions and everything like that. For me, PlayStation 2 is the best console, hands down, and there's no discussion. But let's continue. So I went from PlayStation 2 to Nintendo Wii. Then from Nintendo Wii to Xbox 360. Then from 360 to Xbox One. Then from Xbox One to PS4. And then now PS5, right? Next gen. PlayStation 5. So, I've been on many different platforms. I've been on all three of the big time platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. I've been on all of them, right? So there's a sense of like allegiance or loyalty to some of these brands where, for instance, it's just sickening. It's an illness of the mind. It's a disease called fanboyism / corporate shilling / I don't, whatever you want to call it. Like, here's the thing. Imagine. So here's the thing. Spider-Man is a great game. Let's just use Spider-Man as an example. Spider-Man is a great game, right? Now, because it was a PlayStation exclusive, you had folks on Xbox slandering Spider-Man. Spider-Man was shit, right? It wasn't good. It was garbage. Batman's better. Blah 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 blah. Batman is multi-platform anyway, dumbasses. But right, Spider-Man, they were basically downplaying Spider-Man, right? But we all know if that shit launched on Xbox, oh man, those Xbox would eat that shit up, right? Likewise, now if Spider-Man was an Xbox exclusive, you'd have PlayStation gamers saying, "Oh, we don't care about that. Nobody wants to play that," right? That game sucks, right? But we all know how PlayStation gamers actually feel about the game because the game released on PlayStation, right? And people loved it, right? So basically, the point of me saying that was this whole kind of, oh, I'm not going to play that game because that's on a different platform than I have, or the one I like, or the one I'm standing, the one I rep, or oh, that game sucks because that's an Xbox game, or that game sucks because it's a PlayStation exclusive. Like that, it's just an illness of the mind, right? Like I said, I'm a gamer. I play the best games. I don't give a fuck what platform they're on. Okay, so you won't catch me standing for a company or a brand for no reason, like just because I stand it. You won't ever see that, right? And I kind of lost my train of thought. I know we were talking about Xbox, right? Okay, basically why I'm interested in buying Xbox Series X, right? Before, right? Let's we're keeping it at this generation, this new generation, right? So PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. So before, I saw no reason to buy a Series X, right? Like I said, the only thing that was interesting me, like I said earlier, the only thing that was interesting me in buying an Xbox was the Halo Chief Master Collection, or the Halo Master Chief Collection. Now I have a PlayStation, or I have a PC, so I could play these games anyway. I don't even need to buy an Xbox. I can play all these games and all these future games on my PC. The problem is my PC is not, the best PC. I'm not going to be able to play these games at 4K 60 FPS, 1080 60 FPS, maybe 1080 60 FPS on lower settings, but right. I'm never gonna be able to play above 60 FPS because my monitors are capped to steer. They're only 60 hertz monitors. They're UHD 1080p 60 hertz monitors, right? So I'm not even getting the 1440p from PC. And I think Xbox Series X is also compatible at 1440p anyway. But I'm hard capped. Regardless, I'm hard capped at 60 frames per second, right? So if that's the case, right? Why would I not go with the console, the home console, where I could play 4K 60 FPS no problem. I don't have to worry about upgrading any parts. I'm future proof for the entire generation. Not have to worry about anything like that, right? And it's only $500. Whereas if I try to upgrade my PC, getting a new processor, that's gonna be like $300. Because I already have an i5, which is a solid processor, but now you want like an i7, an AMD Ryzen 7, right? You kind of want to be on that level now. So if I were to buy a new, and my PC's Intel, right? Mostly Intel kind of hardware. So if I buy an AMD processor, I'd have to buy like an AMD compatible motherboard, blah blah blah, yada yada, right? So for the sake of this discussion about my PC, I'm just gonna keep it at Intel. So if I were to buy like an i7, that's like $300, right? 300 to $400, maybe even above that if I want a good i7. So that right there is like the price of an Xbox, and that's just the CPU. Then I have to upgrade my GPU, right? I have to upgrade my graphics card. Then I maybe I have to upgrade my RAM. Who knows? Um, I have to upgrade my monitors so I can play at 4K. I mean, I could plug in my PC to my TV or something like that, but why would I do that? And that's also kind of um you know just it's not very practical for that, right? So with all of that, I could just buy an Xbox Series X and be done with it. Just plug it into my TV. I'm good. And just play it like that. Now, like I said, the only thing that was keeping me interested in Xbox, and potentially buying an Xbox, was the Halo Master Chief Collection. But now that we heard this news, now that we know there's confirmed exclusivity, now I'm more enticed to buy an Xbox Series X. And this is what I was saying. What I believe it's a very good power move from Xbox, because now, right? If I'm interested in these games, now I'm either gonna have to play on PC, or like I said, which is probably the path for me if I was going the Xbox path. Now I'm gonna have to invest in a console if I want to play these games. Now I have a reason to invest in this Xbox console because of these exclusives, right? I won't be able to play them on PlayStation. Now I also want to talk about the backwards compatibility. Now I'm not too informed about the backwards compatibility, right? Like I said, I've been playing on Team PlayStation. I don't know too much about Xbox, but for instance, I believe it's called Game Boost, right? Xbox Game Boost or something like that, which increases the performance and resolution of games. It was supposed to be like kind of PlayStation 4's Game Boost, or PS4's Boost mode, but kind of a lot better, because PS4's Boost mode was kind of trash, right? Like it didn't really boost anything. Like by boost, I was hoping like, okay, we get like a 30 FPS game to 60 FPS. That's what I thought by boost, but it's like maybe like 2% frame difference, or I'm not exactly sure what the stats are, but it's very negligent. So with real game boost, Xbox has real game boost, right? Whereas these old. So for instance, Ninja Gaiden 2, right? OG Ninja Gaiden 2, one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. Played it. I loved it back in the 360 days. For instance, I heard that Ninja Gaiden 2 on Series X/Series S. Well, let's just talk about Series X. Um, Ninja Gaiden 2 on Series X is 4K 60 FPS backwards compatibility via Game Boost, right? Now, if that's the case, And I know, there's still a list of things coming out that support Game Boost. There's still games, being worked on and things like that. But to play, kind of jump back into the 2000s, back into the 2010s, and be able to play a game by today's standards, I think is very, it's incredible, right? Today's standards being 4K 60 FPS. If I could play Ninja Gaiden 2 at 4K 60 FPS, that's incredible in my opinion. That's incredible, absolutely incredible, right? Like I said, I don't know too much about the game boost features and what games support it. I know that it doesn't work with every game, right? Like a game has to be like it specifically has to be like worked on or something like that to support it. Like it's not to the point where like you can just download any game or put in any disc and like it'll work via game boost, right? Like just off of the Xbox system, off the Xbox software, right? Like it actually has the game specifically specifically have to go into that game and like work it out and then like make it compatible with game boost, right? I don't know if it's automatic or not. But let's say it gets to the point where it's automatic, right? So for instance, let's just talk about, you guys know I play Resident Evil, right? But one thing that really disappointed me, and we're talking about the Resident Evil HD collection, so the one that includes Resident Evil HD Remaster and Resident Evil 0 Remaster. Specifically the console releases, right? One thing that disappointed me about those were that they were locked at 30 FPS. Now I know for sure that those old that old hardware, the PS4 and Xbox One, both could run those games at 60 FPS. I know that, right? But fuck Capcom, right? So but fuck Bethesda too, because Dishonored, right? That should be 60 FPS on last gen hardware. That's definitely 60 FPS on last gen hardware, right? Because that was even on the previous gen. Those were the Xbox 360, PS3 days. There's no reason that the PS4 or at least PS4 Pro couldn't run that at 60 FPS, right? But let's jump back to what we were talking about, right? So Resident Evil collection, right? Locked at 30 FPS, disappointed me because the Steam version is 60 FPS or higher, right? And PC is just on a different level, right? Let's just keep it on console. It was locked at 30 FPS. Now let's say that either, they work the game, they work, through the coding or whatever and get it functional with Game Boost, or let's say Xbox gets to the point where, now I'm just going to use the Resident Evil HD collection as an example, where I can literally just put the disc in and like due to the Xbox software, whatever, like Game Boost auto works, and I can put in that game that would run at, let's say if I put it inside of an Xbox One, that would run at 30 FPS. I can literally put that same disc into the Series X and it would run at 60 FPS, 4K 60 FPS. Doesn't even really have to be 4K, but just 60 FPS. 60 FPS is really like my thing. I'll take frame rate over resolution all day. So like 1080p 60 FPS, I'll take over 4K 30 FPS all day, right? But just for the sake of what we're talking about here, let's just say that like, if I put it into the Series X, it runs at 4K 60 FPS. Guys, that would have to be among the most incredible things of the generation. And I know we're talking about backwards compatibility, and it's kind of like we're talking about previous gen stuff, but not really, because we're playing them by today's standards. And that kind of technology, that kind of software is actually very next gen to be able to do something like that, right? To be able to put in a game that runs a certain way, kind of like it's kind of like PC how they're doing it, right? Like an Xbox One is an older PC, so the games aren't going to run as great, aren't going to look as great, aren't going to perform as great, whereas they would run incredibly well on the Series X. And you might think that's obvious because it's new gen hardware, but what you don't understand is that this is very much like PC, right? If I put Crash Bandicoot PlayStation 1 into a PlayStation 3, because I think PS3 is backwards compatible with PS1 and PS2, right? So if I put Crash Bandicoot, let's say from PlayStation 1 Crash Bandicoot into a PlayStation 3, that game is going to run exactly how it runs on the PlayStation 1. Not a bit of maybe a little bit of frame stability. I don't know, but it's gonna have the same resolution. It's gonna perform the exact same way. It's the exact same game, right? Even though the PS3 is leaps ahead of the PlayStation 1 in terms of hardware, the game is locked at what's hard coded into the game, right? So it's not taking advantage of that hardware. It's locked. It's hard coded, right? It's gonna be the exact same game. Whereas if I put Ninja Gaiden 2 into an Xbox 360, and then I go put that into a Series X, oh, you're gonna see a huge difference, right? Because supposedly Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Series X is 4K 60 FPS. Whereas on the 360, I don't know exactly what is it, like 720p 30 FPS maybe, or maybe I don't know exactly what it is on the Xbox 360, but it sure as hell is not 4K 60 FPS. That's what I'll tell you. It sure as hell is not 4K 60 FPS. It's the exact same game though, but you see that difference in resolution and performance. That's what Game Boost is. That's what is incredible about Game Boost, because it's the exact same game actually taking advantage of the hardware within the console and using that to look better and perform better. I'm not exactly sure how like the whole Game Boost things works, but that's basically kind of at least how I think it works, or a part of how I think it works, right? Where it takes advantage of the current hardware to improve the performance and graphics of the game, right? So that would also be another reason why I buy an Xbox Series X. And so I could play games like Ninja Gaiden 2 at 4K 60 FPS. So I could put in Resident Evil HD Collection and have that run at 60 FPS, right? So like I said, I think there's a list of supported games. They have to actually go into the game and like change the coding or whatever. Like it's not just automatically. It's like I can't just put a game in the Xbox and like it'll automatically like Game Boost, right? At least I don't think that's how it works. If it did work like that, oh, that'd be the most incredible thing, and it's still incredible, right? Because there's a lot of games being added to Game Boost, right? Being Game Boost compatible, but if that's how let's just say if that's how Game Boost worked, oh man, I'd for sure buy Series X. So I know we spent a lot of time talking about backwards compatibility, and like this was actually just supposed to be a quick and brief discussion about the exclusivity news. We've spent about 30 minutes just going all over the place talking about Xbox. Maybe it's about time to wrap up my thoughts. So basically, the point of this entire video was to call out the slandering within the gaming community, this illness of the mind, console war. It's an illness, it's a disease. Okay, guys, we're gamers. Don't stand for a company, don't stand for a brand, and don't gatekeep. Play whatever games interest you. Play wherever the best games are. That's everywhere, right? Let's say Elder Scrolls 6 is Xbox exclusive. Are you gonna really tell me Elder Scrolls 6 is dog shit because you're a Sony pony? Because you're a Sony pony, and if you want to play Elder Scrolls, you're gonna have to get an Xbox or a PC. But like I said, we're talking about Xbox and PlayStation here, so let's keep it between Xbox and PlayStation. You really gonna be salty and say Elder Scrolls 6 is dog shit because it's on Xbox and not PlayStation. Whereas if that game was on PlayStation, you know your ass would be picking that up day one. Really? Is that the path we're going? Starfield? If Starfield is exclusive, right? I don't know if it's confirmed exclusive yet or not, but let's say it's exclusive, right? Is that the path we're going down? Where because a game is not releasing on our preferred platform, it's automatically dog shit? Where you know if that game came to your platform, you would be on that shit day one? Nah, fuck out of here. I'm gonna have to call that out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call that out. Like I said, I'm a gamer. I'm not gonna say that I'm the most real dude out there. Oh, I'm woke. I'm a real dude. I'm not gonna say any of that. I'm gonna be true to me and be true to who I am. Okay. Like I said, I'm a gamer. I play where the best games are. Simple. That's why I've been playing on PlayStation these last couple of years, because PlayStation has the best games. You can't deny that. I don't care what platform you're on. You cannot deny that. And like I said, I'm not gonna talk about Nintendo too much. We're gonna keep this between Xbox and PlayStation, right? But now that Xbox has these exclusives, right, and looks to have a very promising future, and with the whole backwards compatibility and game boost and things like that, Xbox is becoming very enticing, and dare I say, I might have to actually invest back into the Xbox brand. And I'm okay with admitting that. I'm proud to admit that. I'm a gamer. I listen, if Xbox had Spider-Man, right? Hang on. If Spider-Man released on Xbox, I would have gotten an Xbox for sure, because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. So I definitely would have had to have gotten an Xbox, at least, right? And my voice is starting to get, or my throat's starting to get a little dry, so I'm gonna have to cut this video. I'm gonna have to cut this video. I mean, like, you hear my voice cracking and things like that. That's how you know that, like, my voice is getting dry. I'll have to cut this video soon. But wait, where was I just going with my point? I just want to say that. Yeah, I just want to say that. Look, guys, this whole console war thing is just. I get it. Competition drives, sales. Right? I get it. It's all about competition, and that's fine. But let it be healthy competition. Don't let it blind you. Don't be biased towards a brand, towards a community, or for a brand, or for a community. Both. Right? I just see too many voices in the gaming community on this exclusive shit, and it's not even like healthy, like trash talk competition. It's very unhealthy, very kind of sick interactions that we've been having within the game community, and these voices, like these toxic voices, these toxic hot take voices, and these king of the Dumbo types of voices in the community, where you have these leaders, you have these like cult like leaders, like it's like a cult. You know what like a religious cult is? It's like these cult like leaders with these just brainless it's just like a brainless following. They have brainless followers who just eat up everything they say, and it's just very toxic to the gaming community. It hurts the gaming community. Where I feel, and this is the reason why I made this video, is because I feel like I need to start putting my voice out there. We need more voices like mine, where it's hey, if somebody does something great, we're gonna give you your props. If someone does something bad, we're gonna talk shit on you, right? Like it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter whether you're Xbox, whether you're PlayStation. If you make a good move, I'm gonna fucking give you props and congratulate you for making a power move. If you do something stupid, if you make a shit move or do something, I'm gonna say it's that wasn't a very good move. I don't care. There's no bias within me. There's no allegiance. There's no brand loyalty. I mean, sure, there's brand loyalty. Like, I want to support PlayStation and things like that. But motherfucker, I'm a gamer. Like I said, I'm a gamer. I play where the best games are, right? So Xbox starts getting these exclusives down, I'm gonna have to jump to Series X. That doesn't mean I'm gonna leave PlayStation. I'm just gonna have to incorporate Series X into my gaming, my lifestyle of gaming. It's as simple as that. It's so simple. Why would I keep myself away or hold myself back from games that interest me, or pretend like games don't interest me, pretend like games aren't good because it's on a different platform than the one I prefer. That's just such an illness of the mind. And like I said, I was name dropping, and those are just some names. And but and like MBG, I didn't drop MBG's name, right? I didn't drop MBG. Who's some like a Jack Move Johnny. Who's some Xbox dudes. I don't know. We're gonna name drop Solid Rev, even though I know he's not like he's not a fanboy of any platform. But we're just gonna drop some like just some figures, at least some prominent figures in the gaming community, like the online game community, like Twitter and YouTube and things like that. The social media gaming community, I guess. But Astral, I think Astral, Xbot, some Xbot on Twitter named Astral. I just wanted to drop these names because I'm just so tired of it. Like, and it, like I said, it's Xbots and it's Xbots and Sony ponies. Xbots with their whole flippity floppity. That's okay. Game Pass is going to be on multiple platforms, and that's the direction Xbox is headed, is Game Pass, and we don't really care about exclusives. Oh, now we have exclusives. Now we love exclusives. No, now we love exclusives, right? And then the Sony ponies, right? Talking shit on Xbox, saying they have no exclusives, right? Now pretending that because these games are exclusive, or because we know Bethesda will be exclusive in the future to Xbox. Now we have Sony ponies pretending like this doesn't mean shit. Like oh well, Xbox is still trash. Like, oh, Xbox still has no games. Like pretending as if this doesn't mean shit when it does, and you know it. You know it in your soul, but for some reason it hurts you, and I don't know why. I don't know why it hurts people to just to give another brand props. Why do you have to try to take away from another brand? Why does that hurt you? If you're truly happy with your preferred place for gaming, why are you even worried about what another brand is doing? Why are you worried about it? Right? That's the whole thing. I think you people aren't happy with your preferred game. And I know sometimes it's just like whatever, friendly trash talk, just some banter going on, but there's people that are actually like, they actually bleed this shit. They actually bleed this shit, dude. And they take this shit to heart, man. And I don't get it, guys. We're gamers. For what purpose? For what purpose is this? Let the wars be between the brands themselves. The war is supposed to be between the representatives at Xbox, the representatives at Sony. That's where the war is supposed to be between. We are gamers. We're consumers. We consume. We consume games. We consume the best games. That's our focus, is to consume the best games. Let these companies, let them have the war. That's what it's supposed to be. Why are we having a war amongst ourselves, motherfuckers? As if we're in Xbox press conferences, as if we're in the meeting room at Sony, as if we have any fucking control over any of this. Why are we acting as if this is why are we bleeding this? Why are we bleeding this? I don't get it. I don't get it. Guys, just if you call yourself a gamer, then play the best games. Whether that's on Xbox, PlayStation, play the best games, man. Doesn't matter where it's on. Go play it. Fuck out of here, man. With this just nonsense. This console war nonsense. It's just sickening. Sure, I get it. Like, it's fun to, be, a little bit competitive and, the trash talk a little bit. Aha, you guys have this game or we have this game or blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. But if you're actually like, I'm not going to play that because it's on a different brand. It's on a different, it's on a different console where that game sucks because it's not on my console. Because whereas if I know if that game's on my console, I would be all over it. That's where the hypocrisy is, and that's what I'm criticizing. That's what I'm calling out. Don't be a fucking hypocrite, man. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite. Be cool. Be cool. Be honest with yourself. You know you like that fucking game. So why are you talking about it? Because it hurts you that it's not on your platform. It hurts you that it's not on your platform. Well, guess what? If you weren't such a fucking corporate shill, if you weren't such a fucking, home brand bitch, and you actually had an open mind, guess what? You would just play that game on a PlayStation, or you would just play that game on an Xbox, right? Simple. Yet we have these wars going on, and like I said, you're always gonna have those people who are, just hard stuck on their home brand, right? Just going to talk shit, regardless of what happens. But like I said, I feel we need more voices like mine in the game community because, like I said, a lot of these figures, a lot of these community leaders are all just biased, riding the wave, hot takes type of people, right? The PlayStation guy that says Xbox sucks will get a huge PlayStation following because of the Sony ponies. Yeah, Xbox sucks. Yeah, we love PlayStation. That Xbot, that cult-like Xbot leader that talks shit on PlayStation is gonna get all the Xbots to follow him. Because, yeah, we love Xbox. We stand Xbox. Fuck PlayStation, right? So, like I said, I never get a huge following because I don't have I don't have hot takes. I'm not I'm not a front runner, right? I'm not a a diehard brand loyalist. So sure, maybe I never gain, a hard dedicated following. But that's not the point. The point is I wanted to have the discussion. I wanted to get my thoughts out there and what gaming means to me and get, another voice into the game community and a different opinion into the game community. I'm just tired of this console war BS. Play where the best fucking games are, regardless. Who gives a fuck? Sure, have some banter. That's about it. Don't take it too seriously. The real console war is supposed to be between the leaders at Sony, the leaders at Xbox. That's where the real war is, because they need to compete with themselves and figure out how are we going to get people to buy our product. That is the console war. That's the real console war. How are we going to get folks to buy our product? That is the only war that matters. We, the consumers, just need to play the best games, play whatever fucking game interests us, consume whatever the fuck interests us. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to worry about. Simple. So if you've listened to this entire thing, you're a fucking unit, man. Props to you. Hopefully you subscribe. If you've been listening to this entire thing, if you didn't subscribe yet, hit that subscribe button, man. Give the video a like. Like I said, this is just going to be like an unedited kind of rant style. Just something that was going on. Just something I've been thinking about for a while, and with this confirmed exclusivity, and the Sony ponies now pretending that this is irrelevant, and the Xbox now pretending that, oh, we love exclusives now, right? I just need to call this out within the game community, get another opinion out there. If you guys like this kind of podcast style discussion here, let me know, and we'll do more of these. I kind of like them. I'm also lazy, so I don't really have to. Like I said, I'm not gonna edit this. But I kind of like the unedited kind of style because it's just real. It's very authentic. You can hear me, sifting through my thoughts, and we can even put this into a live stream format where I'm communicating and interacting with you guys while I'm, getting my thoughts out and things like that. We can even do that. We might, go in that direction. But I just wanted to, kind of share my thoughts and why I think this whole console war thing is BS, and also why I'm now considering buying an Xbox Series X, and I probably will end up buying a Series X. Like I said, we gotta see like what exactly these PC requirements are, but like I said, I'm probably gonna have to buy a Series X. So that's where I stand with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Great power move by Microsoft. Great power move by Xbox. People were making fun of them for no exclusives, and now they got exclusives. So this gen's about to get pretty interesting. Like I said, if Halo Infinite is a banger, we got ourselves a very competitive generation here. If Halo Infinite flops, then Xbox definitely gained from this acquisition, but they're still not on that top tier level yet until they get their home brand exclusives back on top. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Stay tuned for next time. Take care.